Where are you located, Peter? Just out of
In
curiosity.
Topanga Canyon, just outside
Okay.
of LA.
Outside of LA, yes, that's where
Mhm.
the music scene is happening, or the old
That's right,
school music scene, right?
for sure. And what about you, Joanna? Where are you based?
I live on Nantucket.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great places.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Joanna Roach. I'm the Executive Director of GSN Planet. I'm here with Megan, who's our Marketing and Community Manager, who is very steadily at the controls. And much fun. And today we are really honored to have with us our friends at Esalen Institute, who are helping to bring the human potential movement to the GSN community and beyond. And we welcome Douglas Drummond, who is the manager of the Healing Arts and Somatics at Esalen. And today we also have the pleasure of welcoming Peter Oppermann. He is a German engineer turned esteemed meditation teacher, and Peter is the founder of the Future Self Method and a life coach. He's based in LA, he's fluent in German and English, and he teaches workshops, classes, and coaches personal clients internationally. Peter has also been an entrepreneur for the past 20 years, and after leaving a promising engineering career in Germany, he started making Japanese furniture in Berlin and New York with the intention to bring mindfulness to the workplace. Later, he founded Karma Builders, which is a great name, by the way, a social enterprise in the Bronx, New York, training ex-prisoners in mindfulness and job skills. So we welcome you today, Peter. And I know, Doug, you often like to say a few words here, so I'm going to turn it over to you. So thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Hawaii GSN community, always a pleasure. And we were just reflecting back before we went live of our little growth that we've been having, and it's just lovely to see. We're unconditional with participation pieces. For us, it's really just been at service to bring our work and bring our extended Esalen faculty and family out into the forefront to show you some of these amazing people that we work with, and perhaps afford you a bit of calm and ease in this really turbulent and challenging world. Peter, absolutely honored to have you here. Peter, you have been a professional colleague and also a personal friend for, I was thinking, well over a decade, and our times together in New York City, doing a lot of work with Gabrielle Roth, and Peter, your commitment to the mindful and the wellness world has always been really special, and the way that you bring in your background and the way that you explore the world is really special. And reflecting fondly of going through a beautiful future self meditation in Hawaii one time together, it was really poignant. So thinking, great, it'd be wonderful to bring you into this forum. So without further ado, thank you, mate. And again, thank you, GSN community, and Joanna and Megan. It's always a pleasure, and looking forward to this continuing.
Thank you. All right, Peter, it's you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Joanna, for inviting me to GSN Planet. I love what you do, your mission, changing the world for the better. And Douglas, thank you for the kind introduction as well, for having me. So welcome everybody who has gathered here on this call. I really appreciate you taking time, and I'll do my best to make this really rich and lively and also experiential experience for you. My name is Peter Oppermann. I am the founder of the Future Self Method, which I will go a little bit in detail into. I prepared a few slides for you with the idea to understand how we can make use of the non-linear nature of time. I believe that's one of the most interesting hacks that we can actually apply to step into a fuller expression of ourselves, to liberate ourselves from old limiting beliefs, as well as to really get an idea of what our full human potential, that is what Esalen and these places like that are about. How can we step into our fullest, most beautiful, most creative expression? What is the dream that every one of us has inside. Everyone who is on this call, I believe every human that walks on this planet is here for a reason. We all have a seed inside of that wants to be birthed. And how can we actually facilitate that process? And I want to speak a little bit about that, and then afterwards also guide you through an experience to meet your future self in a visceral, real, experiential way. Without further ado, please enjoy this time. If you have used headsets, because I'm going to use some binaural beats, a powerful audio technology to help us all to drop into a so-called theta brainwave state where we can tap into deeper levels of our consciousness. So if you have headsets ready, that would be a good preparation. I will also share at the end of this session actually a studio recording that's an extended version of what we're doing today. It's about 40 minutes long. That's my gift to you. So if you stay to the end, you all can download your own beautifully extended, deeper way to meet your future self and have fun that way. So let me just share my screen and start briefly about what I mean when we talk about the future self method. I love triangles, and I'll speak in a moment what these 4 different triangles stand for. The work that I do have brought me to various different contexts, corporate contexts. I taught at Google, the LA Police Department, places like that. I teach at different meditation studios around the city. This work has allowed me to travel the world. I lead outdoor events, indoor workshops, as well as at festivals, which is something that I really love, that festival context to guide a group of people over a period of days. I also have an online school where I teach this method over an 8-week program in a very structured approach. So what is the future self compass? The future self compass is basically a way how we can take our conventional understanding of linear time to break it apart in a very simple way that is a very powerful navigation tool. So it starts out with the present self. And the present self, in the definition that I'm using, also in the extended definition of mindfulness, is that who we are in the present moment is our capacity to make choices that are in alignment with who we truly are. And who we truly are is both our embodied self that we can perceive with our senses, as well as the self that extends into an infinite field of possibilities. It's the field that is connecting all of us, that is timeless, that is infinite. So once we allow ourselves to incorporate these both physical and non-physical parts of ourselves, we have a range of access points. And the conventional access points is our past self. That is basically the accumulation of what we have learned, experienced in the past that made us who we are. Unfortunately, in this current state of our evolution as a species, there's a lot of information, data, and codes that we all have incorporated in our past self that is limiting. That feels true, but it's not real. That we are separate, that we are separate from abundance, that we are not worthy, that we are actually not deserving love for who we are. So in an unawakened state, a non-actualized state, we live basically with the identity that is very limited, that's just a derivative of the past. However, if we have the capacity to elevate to our future self, which is the part of ourselves that is already existent in the field of infinite possibilities, that's the person we're going to meet in a moment, that is fully expressed, that is living his or her dream, that is in alignment with your purpose. We can also, in this extended state, have an immediate relationship with that. And then when we learn how to act from that place, we can literally create our treasure, something that is an expression of our heart, of our purpose, of why we came into this world, to live our dharma, to live why, our big why, and create truly beautiful and sustainable results in our life. And all of this is embedded in an ongoing cycle, because going through this process is not a one-time thing, it's an evolutionary spiral. So let me just break that down a little bit. So if all that we have as our reference point is our past self, you may also call it your ego self, your limited, your small self. If all that what you have is all what you know, is that if you're trying to create from that past identity, if you're trying to create more abundance, call true relationship, call in, optimal health, whatever it is. But if it's coming from a place of the past self, it's a corrupted vision. It's a negative vision that is trying to patch up something of us not feeling whole. So even your best to-do lists, your best goals that are coming from that past self-identity are actually never going to be fulfilling. It's that famous ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall, to find out that once we reach the top of the ladder, it's actually not satisfying. However, if we have the capacity to wake up to our true nature, and to really make that deep inner connection, I imagine all of us who are on this call already have established to that part of ourselves that is true. And once we create an identity shift, we are not allowing our sense of self to be limited by what we learned from the past, but that we are starting to really believe in what's true and what's possible. That kind of vision, I like to call a positive vision, and the kind of ideas that come from that place and that are married by inspired action, a vision that is true and that is combined, supported by inspired action, that actually creates a true, genuine outcome, a treasure. Whatever that means for you, that is actually something that can provide sustainable happiness and a sense of alignment and fulfillment. So this triangle between your present self, your fully embodied self that has an access to your intuition, to your infinite nature, that has a relationship with your full potential, your future self, that has a vision and that has ways to channel that vision into change-making action, that is a powerful way to live, this triangle right here. And that's what I teach in my work with the Future Self method. So this process here of the present self developing self-awareness towards your past self. The past self is something actually which gives us the dynamite, the fuel to waking up. Because whenever we are connected to our past self, I would say something that's through our somatic experience sends us a signal. Something feels off here. I feel limited in who I am. So having a sense of self-awareness and tools available to dance, to engage with your past self, with your limiting beliefs in an effortless and a graceful way, to just hold space for your past self and use that as a motivator to wake up, to really deepen your connection to your future self. Then there is this identity shift happening. You get deeper in your positive vision, and you're becoming habituated that through inspired action that is guided by the vision from your future self, you create your treasure. So this diagram here, there's a lot that I'm packing in a brief period of time, but I think you're all intuitive learners. Just let that speak to you, that imagine you would have that relationship in your present walking self, that you can dance, you can deal with the limiting messages from your past self. You just use that as the storyline of who you became to this moment. and you're just deepening your skills of self-awareness, of self-compassion, of different skill sets to deal with that part of yourself as a motivator to really allow yourself to wake up to your full potential, your future self, and then have tools, a vision, and a channeled action to create your treasure, something that is truly beautiful and meaningful, a contribution to your own deepest sense of being, as well as a contribution to the collective. Those two things usually go hand in hand. As who we are so innately connected with the collective, as we see in the good and the bad. And the more people are waking up and finding that inner calling to add value to the collective, the more we are actually building a more higher vibrational field that will allow all of us to feel freer and looser and more empowered of who we are. So this is basically a snapshot of what we're doing. And there's something beautiful happening that I see a lot happening both within myself for a while, but also with the students that I work with, that by going through this process of releasing the bondage of your past self and waking up to your future self and seeing your outer life circumstances literally shift and change, is that you as a person, you're becoming also golden. You know, by going for gold, for something meaningful and beautiful, you are also in the process changing as a human being, becoming more free, more authentic, more empowered. All of this is something that I put into a curriculum where we go through this kind of organic 8-week process of 4 weeks of inner work, really understanding the fullness of our present self, understanding, making peace, rearranging ourself, our identity, our sense of our personality in the past self, build a strong relationship with our future self, like a mentor, like an older sister or brother that we can trust and call in at will, and then learn in the segment of the outer work how to bridge that, how to bridge what we know is true and important, how to channel that into action, inspired action, and how to start to prototype. I found prototyping, rapid prototyping, is one of the best ways to quickly iterate, to test your vision, to apply it to a small project that you can roll out in a matter of a few weeks, and then gain feedback from others from the field, and then iterate and optimize what you're going for. And then in no time, you can create change actually in a pretty rapid manner. That is actually measurable, and that I've seen in hundreds of people happening so far. So that's the piece I just briefly on the theoretical part wanted to share with you before we go into our experience. Just a brief feedback. How does that sound to you guys? I don't know if you can guys use the chat box. I think you can. Does that resonate with you? Does that sound like a whole bunch of whatever you may call it? Feel free to share a little feedback.
Yes, Jessica said, wow, I'm enrolled. I love it, says Sheehan. They can only chat right now, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's, I understand.
Sounds great,
All right.
says Sharon. Awesome.
All right. Great. Well, again, if we had more time, I'd happy to go into a Q&A phase. But I just want to give you a little bit of background of what we're going for. This is not just a random future self journey to kind of that is fueled. So you want to be careful that we are not projecting our past self, our sense of lack, into our future self. Yeah, we're really wanting to open ourselves up to our true nature. And that's why we're going to use a little bit of technology. As it was mentioned before, I have an engineering background. I love to use technology in this work. So we're going to use this visual to allow ourselves to just get focused. And let me just put this and I'm going to play. So I'm just going to check one thing real quick. I can share my computer sound. So in a moment, you will start hearing some mind travel music by my dear friend Miri Hidari. Let me know if the mix between my voice and the music feels right. So the intention for this journey is really for you to connect with something that is valuable to you, something you wish to create. Let's all just close our eyes for a moment. Let's just take a few deep cleansing breaths.
Peter, you probably could bring up the sound just a little bit.
Thank you. And if it feels comfortable, place one palm on your heart. Ground yourself in your heart center, your place of knowing. Feeling the touch, the warmth of your palm, anchoring yourself in your heart. And then ask yourself a simple question. What do you want? What do you really, truly want? What is one thing you are calling in, you wish to create? And simply listen. And then let that, what you're receiving, put it into a simple word, a phrase, and let that be your inner compass for this journey. With intention that you may gain greater clarity and confidence. How to be there. How to be the person that is deeply embodying that what your heart is calling in. Two simple guidelines as we are going deeper. Number one, trust yourself. Trust whatever may arise in the journey is exactly meant to be here. So simply listen to inner visions, physical sensations, hunches. Just go with whatever arises spontaneously. And secondly, if you're losing your signal for a moment, if you don't get an immediate response in this journey, just wait a moment and then simply make it up. Trust whatever you're making up is perfectly placed into your journey. So let's begin. I invite you to imagine you're closing a door behind, creating an oasis of peace, of quality time with yourself right now. If it resonates with you, place yourself inside of a bubble of light that is here to guide and protect you. Just connect with the breath and start to deepen the breath. Deep breath in and long breath out. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest and abdomen. Stay with that breath. And let's synchronize our breath as a community for a few rounds. Let's all take a deep breath in and release. One more time, full breath in. Let go. Now this time, take a deep breath in, hold your breath at the top, create some tension in your body, make a fist, shrug your shoulders to your ears, hold it, and let go. Beautiful. With each long exhale, you're sending your nervous system into a state of balance and peace. And allow these sound waves to wash through the space of your mind. If your mind is busy, imagine your thoughts are like leaves drifting in the wind. Landing on a wide river, floating away. Allow the space of your awareness to expand way beyond your physical body. As if you're looking up into the vast open sky. Letting your thoughts pass by. From this place of spacious awareness, imagine how you're leaving your physical body behind, finding yourself floating weightlessly through a spacious tunnel of blue healing light. Moving forward in time. Leaving your old familiar self behind. Releasing, letting go of any beliefs, any programs you may have adopted of not feeling worthy, not good enough, not having what it takes. Leave all of that behind, like a snake shedding its skin, letting go. Allow yourself to feel lighter and clearer. Like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Set yourself free. As you're traveling through this tunnel of blue healing light. As if you're returning to a childlike state of innocence, of awe and wonder. You're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And as you step out, you find yourself in the land of the future, the land of infinite possibilities. And as you there's a person walking towards you from the future. And as this person is coming closer and closer, you're realizing who it is. It is yourself, your own future self, welcoming you, greeting you. So happy to see you. Maybe you can feel the presence of your future self. See the shape, the size, the kind of clothes, the detail. Your future self is smiling, so happy to see you. Taking you by the hand, showing you the life that your future self has created. Guiding you to a scene where the very thing that your heart is longing for, that you wish to create, is already here, right in front of you. Step into that scene and let that scene come alive. Notice the colors. Notice who else is present in that scene. Breathe it all in and notice how you feel. Keep breathing and moving the energy. Then turn to your future self and ask, how did you get here? How did you arrive at this place in your life? How did you get here? Then ask your future self, looking back on your path, what was your deepest fear? And how were you able to overcome that fear? Ask your future self, what do you love about your life? And what is one step I can do right now to move forward in the right direction? Your future self and you are stepping closer, holding, hugging each other. And all of a sudden it is as if you're merging with stepping into your future self. Allowing yourself to feel what it's like to be in the body of your future self. Simply open yourself up to receive. As if your future self is downloading himself into your being. Becoming a part of your cellular memory. And then slowly take the presence of your future self with you back into the here and the now, into this body, into this moment. Realizing that you have never been separate from your future self in the first place. It's something that you can access at any given moment in time. And imagine what would happen if you would align your thoughts, speech, and action with this vibration, choosing a new timeline, moving forward, straight into the arms of your future self. Imagine how far you could go. So slowly start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your toes and fingers. And in your own time, come back. Take with you any insights and any messages you may have received. Welcome back. All right, friends. Welcome back from this little taste of time travel. And give yourself a moment. Sometimes it requires a moment like waking up from a dream. But as you're still in this soft, open space, possibly, just feel free to share one word, how you feel right now, something that you're bringing with from this journey.
Peaceful. Yeah.
Wondrous.
Thank you.
Ooh, someone said full. That's nice.
Powerful.
That's my friend Tadia Taylor. If that's that same Tadia. Hi, Tadia. So welcome, friends. So this was like, in the interest of time, a very brief taste of what this future self method is all about. Let me drop you a link to your own extended studio quality recording. So I want to, as a gift to all of you, because this was really just in the interest of time, a brief introduction. If you click on that link, it will open up an audio file for you that you're free to use at your own discretion, share it with your friends if you like. Also, if you'd like to know more about my work, you can email me at this number, email address. Also, if you're interested to get a little bit know more about the Future Self method, including the Future Self Incubator. This is my 8-week program that I run 3 times a year live. An amazing group of global innovators and pioneers. It's a very high level group. 55 people from around the world have just embarked upon this journey. A lot of innovators, change makers, artists, musicians, leaders in their field, but also regular folks. Feel free to schedule a session if you want to know more about that, or even if I just may use this time real quick. Here's a direct line if you want to know more about this program. So thank you all for hanging in there. I hope this was worth your time. Again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions that came up for you. And thanks again, Megan and Douglas and Joanna, for having me.
You're very, very welcome, Peter. Thank you for leading us through that really beautiful experience. Very much appreciate it. And thanks, Doug, very much for sharing Peter with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Just the power of our time together, no matter how short or how long. It's life and its beautiful moments. They can come by in a flash, and they can live with us for a long time. So thank you for celebrating that limitless nature of time, irrespective of its duration.
May I ask you, Doug, were you able to connect with your future self?
Yeah, I was.
What's he like?
Yeah, a very old,
Put you on the spot.
well-dressed man, looking out to a wide view, with a lot of stories to share, and a really, really generous person. And I'll say that modestly. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That suits you well. You already are that. Your present self and your future self are already very close twins. But
well,
obviously, there's always room for growth.
yeah, thank you. And you know, those experiences, you know, I've had the pleasure of working with Peter and other journeys like that too. And for those on the call, integrating those pieces is, you know, go easy and go gentle. And you know, Peter's a great source of support. And thank you again, mate, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And look forward to catching up in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you. Bye.